this is what's so fascinating about it. There's a book called The Orchid Thief, and I read the book, and it's really fascinating. It was based on a there was this journalist in Cleveland, Ohio, had heard about a guy in Florida who he was actually going to court because he kept stealing orchids from like sacred Indian land in Florida. And so the journalist she went to interview him, and then it turned into a book. And then what happened with the book, Hollywood bought it. They gave, is it Charlie Kaufman? Is that his name, the writer?
Yeah.
Okay. He was supposed to do the adaptation of the book, and he couldn't figure out what to do with it. So the story is really as much about him trying to write the adaptation as it is about the story of the Orchid Thief. So because you would think that the movie would have been called The Orchid Thief, but it wasn't. It was called Adaptation.
But what didn't the guy that I played, didn't he even write like a book about adaptation? He was like infatuated with.
I'm not sure, but basically the orchid thief, the guy who steals the orchids and sells them, he's got such an obsession with these flowers. And I remember there's a great line in the book. It's so beautiful. The writer says, this guy was so in love, just absolutely obsessed with these flowers. She says, I wish I had been in love with something like that ever in my life, because it was just such an obsession with him. And then there's another great line. She talks about how she thinks that the reason that people have become collectors, whether it's orchids or teacups or whatever, is that the universe is so big. It's our way as humans to just kind of make it smaller so we can understand it and comprehend it, So I thought that was it's a great book. So anyway, so let's talk about you, Khalil. Where'd you feel on?
I didn't feel on at the top because I'm out of it.
Okay.
But the more I talked about the flowers, the more I got into it.
Yeah. I like that. I feel like sometimes, not all the time, I feel like you had an inner object for what the flower was and what you were talking about.
I did.
You? Or do you love flowers? You were holding my favorite.
Well, no, this thing smells amazing.
I know.
So it brought me into it.
Yeah, I have some in the back there. See mine?
I know. If I was in class, I would be giving you these right
now. Oh, and I would take them. Thank you.
No, but I'm not sucking up, guys. I promise. I'm gonna give it a lot of stuff.
It's okay. You guys can suck up. It works.
No, but literally, I got it, and I've been kind of thinking about gardening. And then when you have a physical flower and you smell it, and it just completely opens up the place. Like I got it, and I was practicing this with smelling it, and I feel like it tied everything together.
Okay. Well, yes, and I like that. I think that part worked. What I want to explore is who is your character talking to?
I was talking to. I know, and I looked it up. It was Nicolas Cage's character. Yeah. And I know that I'm talking to him because he's so awkward, and I'm trying to tell him how to talk to women.
Okay, so gosh, somehow I don't remember that, but that it doesn't matter. It's still the same thing. So your scene objective, what kind of an effect do you want to have on him?
I want to have like what kind of person am I trying to be?
Yeah. What are you trying to teach him?
I'm giving him fatherly advice on going after the girl that he loves.
Okay. So so basically, I think what I'm getting at is I think you're trying to show him how to seduce a woman. All right. So believe it or not, there still needs to be a little bit more seduction in this. Okay, that's the beauty of them. Because these are extremely flowery words. It's so beautifully written, and you talk about, reading the soulmate and this little dance that they do. So it's going to seem a little weird, and maybe to make it work for you, rather than have your substitution be a man that you're talking to, make it a woman and seduce the woman.
Okay.
All right, because this is a seduction monologue, big time. Big time. He talks about the nectar.
You always do this shit to me. Like I'm talking about wine, and that wine one. Oh my God, Pinot Noir.
Well, and I do that because, well, number one, it's just fun, but also most actors aren't very good at it.
I'm a cartoon character.
You are not a cartoon character. You are not. Oh, that's hysterical. No, you're not.
All right.
But you know, the art of seduction, and I really do think, especially for your younger people, learn how to do it, because I think younger generations, I know that you just don't know how to, you know, because you don't have to, because Tinder and all of these apps have just made it something that you don't have to do, you know, and it's so sad, because it's really, it's kind of beautiful to watch that happen, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think when somebody like tries to flirt with me or seduce me, it may still happen. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I like it. It is. It is. Yeah.
Like that young guy, the young guy in your building.
Oh, there's a couple actually. It's like, I don't know what it is, but yeah. Oh, he's still trying too, Cleo. For those of you, I'll catch y'all up. There's a guy in my building. I saw him in the gym, and he's like, I don't know, 6'10", super tall, plays basketball, not pro, semi-pro. And I left the gym, and he followed me, and he wanted to know if I was married, and I said no. And he said, do you have a boyfriend? And I quickly, I lied. I went, yeah. And then he goes, oh, well, you're allowed to have friends, right? And I said, no, not really. And I'm looking at him. I said, can I just ask you a question? He said, yeah. I said, how old are you? He says, 25. Now, some of you know how old I am. I have a 36-year-old son. So I said, well, thank you. I'm really flattered, but it's probably not going to happen. This man has sent me at least 15 Facebook messages. I ignore all of them. And he's just trying, you know, no. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have nothing for me that wouldn't terrify me.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, but that is flattering. Anyway. So yeah, so we need to see that, bring that sexy, Khalil.
I'll bring the sexy.
Mm-hmm. You got it? Yeah. Yeah, so do you just want to focus on this? Let's just focus on this, because this is a good monologue for you to master.
Okay.
Ready? Okay.